With your CIGTV News Brief, community news and weather forecast, I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush. Today we continue our coverage of the 2020 Proud of Them recipients. Let's meet Stefan Wright.
I attended John Gray High School. The subjects that I selected to study was accounting, electrical studies, IT, and economics.
From primary school, middle school, on to high school, he was really academically focused. He knew what he wanted. Like at the end of high school, he's like, "Mom, I'm going to become an accountant." I'm like, "Really?" Like, "Yes, that's what I want and that's what I'm going for." And he really stayed focused and went after what he wanted.
I attended UCCI on Island for 2 years, where I obtained an associate's degree in business. After graduating, I transferred to Atlanta, Georgia, in Kennesaw State University, where I studied accounting. Right now, I'm a senior audit associate at PwC, where I audit investment funds and insurance captives.
I nominated Stefan because there's a lot of stereotype when it comes to young Caymanian, especially men. And I see that Stefan is a very ambitious, driven person. When Stefan Wright was actually studying for his CPA, his friends, all of us didn't see him. He was locked away. It just shows that he knows what he wants out of life.
My most outstanding achievement to date would be passing the CPA exam last year, and in this year getting promoted to a senior audit associate, because this has been a goal of mine since middle school. I remember back in middle school, there was a class I did called Life Skills. The teacher had us perform an exercise where we were supposed to make a 10-year plan, hypothetical, regarding our desired career choice. I know I always wanted to do accounting, so at the time I did. And I wrote down a plan where I would graduate from high school. I would spend 2 years here on Island at UCCI, graduate with an associate's degree, become eligible for an overseas government scholarship, attend a university in the States, come back and hopefully gain employment at a Big Four firm. And I have to say, everything went exactly as planned.
As a parent, you need to be one-on-one with your children. You know, yes, they may slide here and there, but just remain focused. You know, dreams do come true, and at the end of it, there is a rainbow. You know, you only have to believe and work hard for what you really want.
I feel honored to be selected as a Proud of Them honoree because I'm one of the few people selected this year for career achievements, and I just hope to serve as an inspiration and guidance to the younger kids coming up, showing them how to achieve at the next level from university and keep that momentum going into the working world in achieving their goals that they may have set out in high school.
And join us on CIGTV's News Brief on Friday when we meet another Proud of Them recipient, Janelle Woods. Also making our headlines today, Department of Tourism Director Mrs. Rosa Harris is currently in Switzerland at the World Economic Forum. While there, she was featured in a lengthy interview about the Cayman Islands tourism industry.
I'd like to think that we've been on a little simmer and now we're closer to a boil for tourism. So over time, we have been able to move from small cottages and condos into hotels on the 7 Mile Beach, dive lodges, and now we have a thriving community of Airbnb home share. We're working on a promotion now to create some community tourism to bring local hosts and our visitors together for community experiences wherever the visitor is staying. So over time, we've been able to embrace various aspects of hospitality and being able to grow our tourism industry.
The World Economic Forum is the international organization for public-private cooperation. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. The website says it was established in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation and is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. You can watch the entire interview with the Department of Tourism's director right here on CIGTV this coming Saturday. Chief Fire Officer Paul Walker says there are a lot of new initiatives underway, which are likely to make this year an exciting and busy one for the fire service.
So it means so much for Cayman Islands Fire Service because it does provide that internationally recognised professional framework. All 140 staff will have access to a research database and examination syllabuses for the Institute of Fire Engineers. They'll also be able to, those with more senior roles with previous qualifications will be able to register with the Engineering Council. Our fire prevention inspecting officers can gain registration and competency certificates for their work as well. So it really does support the Deputy Governor's vision of a world-class civil service, and I think they'll help with the Cayman Islands Fire Service continual improvement journey.
HSA is beefing up its specialist orthopedic services with the recruitment of a new orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alan Larson, who treats all conditions of the hand, knee, ankle, and foot, in addition to specializing in sports traumatology. He recently joined HSA. He has performed some 25,000 knee arthroscopies and 40,000 procedures. Dr. Larson grew up in Denmark, where he obtained his medical degree and later his PhD. Dr. Larson says his goal is to ensure that his patients receive the best level of care possible. He says that's achieved through developing personalized treatments where both patients and doctor can best address their issues. Now for a check on some of the other stories around the community making headlines today, this time from Radio Cayman. The National Gallery is winding down its exhibit on the work of Bendel Hides with a special event tomorrow night from 5:30 to 8 p.m. The event will give you a chance to mingle with local artists, curators, and like-minded individuals. When the exhibit comes down at the end of the month, the gallery will start preparing for its next show, Island of Women, which will examine the vital role women played in Cayman society from the 1800s through to the mid-20th century. For more on this and other Radio Cayman stories, visit radiocayman.gov.ky. Turning now to today's weather forecast from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. The forecast calls for light north to northeasterly winds and slight seas over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours, in association with a slack pressure gradient over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images are showing no showers over the Cayman area. Temperatures tonight, get ready, upper 60s. Winds will be out of the north to northeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Remember, you can always go online to weather.gov.ky for more on the forecast, and download the National Weather Service's app where you can find weather info for boaters and those who want to head on the high seas. If you missed today's news brief, you can catch us online. Visit us on YouTube and Facebook. I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a great night and day.
Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you? Visit Lands and Survey Department to check your mailing address is correct. Did you know that walls, fences located along the road require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that fences and walls within the high water setback require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a trellis structure requires planning permission? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a deck more than 6 inches above finished grade requires planning permission? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for a sign? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know you should check with the department before leasing a property or unit for a business as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that fences and walls within the high water setback require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has launched a new service to apply for a police clearance certificate online. To make this process quick and easy, ensure you have digital copies of all required documents readily available. At a minimum, you'll need a copy of your passport photo page. Our website lists the full requirements. If you are using an Apple iOS or Android mobile device, you can use the camera to take photos of these documents while completing your application. After you have read the instructions and are ready to start, type in the alphanumeric string from the CAPTCHA image and click the green button that says Start Application. If you can't read the letters and numbers properly, click Can't Read Image below the photo to try again. To complete your application, you will follow 5 simple steps. These are shown at the top of each page, and the blue circle will always show where you are right now. Enter the requested data in each field. All fields marked with an asterisk are required. Each field has some help information, and please pay attention to the correct format for dates and telephone numbers in particular. When selecting your birthday, you can also use the calendar feature. If a field has a drop-down list, you can scroll through alphabetically or start typing to find the correct option. You will be asked to enter your email address twice to ensure it's correct. This is the address we will use to send you a confirmation email and receipt. Once you have entered all of the required information, click Next at the bottom of the screen. If you click the Cancel Application button at any stage in the process, you will lose everything you've entered so far and be returned to the home page. On this page, answer the questions about past offenses, provide details if relevant, and then click Next. In this step, you will select the type of service being requested and details of the person applying, as well as anyone who might pick up the certificate on his or her behalf. If you select certain options, more information may be required at this stage or later in the process when you are uploading your documents. Finally, select the reasons you are applying and then click Next. If you make a mistake, use the drop-down menu to change the reason or click the red X to delete a line. Remember, if you click the Cancel Application button at any stage in the process, you will lose everything you've entered so far and be returned to the home page. If you need to go back to a previous page to review or change data you already entered, you can use the Back button. You can also navigate through the process using the links at the top of the page. On this page, you will be asked for the relevant digital documents to support your application. On each line, click the Upload icon, select the correct file, and then click Upload. Repeat this process for each document. Based on the information you've already entered, this page will tell you the basic documents required. However, please remember to read the guidance notes to ensure you've included everything for your particular application. You can click the Upload More Documents button if you need to add more files, using the Comments field to briefly explain the additional documents you are submitting. If you go back to previous sections after uploading documents and make changes that affect these requirements, you may need to re-upload your documents. This is the final page before submission. Please review all information provided to ensure it is accurate and complete. You won't be able to change anything on this page, but you can use the back button or the links at the top of the page to return to earlier pages and update any field. By submitting this application, you are declaring that the information provided is accurate and truthful. If you are satisfied with your application, click Proceed to Online Payment. You may need to allow pop-ups and then click the button again to show the payment screen where you will enter your debit or credit card information. The Cayman Islands government accepts Visa and MasterCard, and you can use a debit or credit card issued anywhere in the world. Payment will be processed in Cayman Islands dollars for local service, and in United States dollars for overseas service. If you have questions about any exchange rate that will be used, or foreign currency transaction fees, please contact the bank that issued your card. The Cayman Islands government will not receive or retain your card information. Once your online payment has been authorized, you can view and print your receipt. Click Continue to return to our webpage for details on pickup date and time. If there is an issue with your application and we have to contact you for more information, your application may be delayed. You will also receive a confirmation email with this information and your official receipt. Please remember to bring your passport for identification when you collect your certificate from the Criminal Records Office.
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RECIPIENts, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.